Caught on camera, hooded thieves trying to break into cars outside a suburban woman's home and using a high-tech device to try to jam her security camera.
Want to know how they did it with this watch? Let me show you. Right, here we have a normal wireless type of security camera that you expect to find basically anywhere, along with its companion app. Now, I'm doing this all in real time so you can actually see it. Let me show you that the camera works. Opening and closing my hand, you can see it in the app, basically almost in real time. So now, see if you can spot the moment where I actually switch the watch on and start attacking this particular camera. Hint, keep your eye on my hand on the top right hand side. How crazy is that? I don't know what's scarier, the fact that this exists or the fact that it costs less than $50. But for anyone who's not so techie, it's important to know what's going on and what you're dealing with here, so let's check this out in more detail. Right, let's go into the Wi-Fi and internet settings on the phone, and you can clearly see that it's connected to the home Wi-Fi. Right, let's bring our device into play, and I want you to keep an eye on the home Wi-Fi connected status as I switch it on. Watch this. Look at that, straight away, disconnected from that Wi-Fi, and it's trying to connect, but it's not able to. And even if I try to force it by constantly tapping on it, it just will not connect. As long as this device is running, that everything on that network is now officially disconnected. Now, just to prove the point, I'm going to stop the device and watch this. Instantly, it just connects. So, should we be really worried, or is this much ado about nothing? Now, I'm deliberately being vague here as I don't want anyone to think this is a tutorial of how to bypass security cameras. Well, first of all, this isn't a signal jammer, but rather a proof of concept that was put together in order to show serious vulnerability in Wi-Fi known as DAuth. That is what this device does. It doesn't jam any signal, but what it does is sends a special command to the Wi-Fi network to tell it to disconnect all devices connected to it. And the Wi-Fi simply does it. Now, as the phone or as the device loses connectivity, what it will try to do, it will try to automatically reconnect. But it cannot, because the watch device just keeps sending those disconnect command to the Wi-Fi, essentially keeping everything off the network, just like it booted off the security cameras that we saw earlier. So does this mean that you are screwed? Well, kinda.
Burglar was in the front yard. You could see a flashlight, and occasionally you could see his beanie cap. And then as I'm looking at the video, I'm starting to see these gaps in the video.
Firstly, as I mentioned earlier, this is a proof of concept to show a vulnerability. This vulnerability exists in Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz, so any device that is usually connected to the 5 gigahertz network won't actually be impacted by this device. The problem is that so many smart home products are only connecting at 2.4 gigahertz. This is because it keeps the cost down, and these smart devices typically don't require that much bandwidth to switch on and off lights. So yes, the sub $50 watch is a major problem. So what should you do? Well, you may recall that when you set up your router, that it asked you what type of security you wanted to set up. And typically you would choose WPA2. What you need to do is check your own router and see if it supports WPA3. If it does, change to that. Again, I don't want to get into the technical details, but WPA3 will protect you from this kind of attack. Now, if your router doesn't have WPA3, what you want to do is access your smart home devices and see if there's an option for them to connect over 5 gigahertz and not on the 2.4 gigahertz. I will mention that 5 gigahertz network isn't 100% safe either without WPA3. I mean, I can do the exact same thing and attack your 5 gigahertz network with a simple Raspberry Pi and a 5 gigahertz antenna. So therefore, when it comes to your security, especially your security cameras, ideally you want to go with a wired solution. But if you must use wireless cameras, well, at least make sure that they can run on 5 gigahertz network, they connect to their own hub, which is wired into your router, and you want to make sure that they can record their footage locally and not just into the cloud. So even if they do get taken off the Wi-Fi, your recording is still there on the physical device. Look, this is pretty serious. The fact that it's a known vulnerability that's been out for a while, the fact that a lot of the manufacturers haven't actually included WPA3 into their devices, maybe it's time for that upgrade. And if you're thinking of an upgrade, make sure that you check out this video over here where I show you what to look for when you're replacing your Wi-Fi router. Also, check out this video over here that YouTube thinks that you would like to watch. Hit the head down here to subscribe, and I will see you in this video or in this video, or I'll see you in both. Let's go.